But I also think his lawyer would probably advise him, like, there's no way this is getting dismissed. The best we can hope for is to have the felony. We get it, pled down to some sort of just the misdemeanor. But I've read all the consensus. Well, at least I've read a couple threads on Reddit. And talked to 3 lawyers today. And they almost all have the same consensus. That, and I'm trying to match this up with the timeline of what we've seen Aaron Imholt do on his show. When Aaron said on a show that, like, he got good news from his lawyer today or whatever, I think that was a plea offer from the state. All the attorneys I spoke to today seemed to agree. Right before this hearing, he would have been offered a plea offer. That plea offer would have probably taken jail off the table if he pled guilty to the felony. And any sort of felony charge obviously is not a desired outcome for anybody. This would definitely fuck up if he is involved in any kind of way with the Ricada April stuff. If he's like state witness or was ends up coming out that he had more involvement in this than we even know right now, this could fuck all that up. So from what I understand, they basically haven't been able to come to an agreement because Aaron won't accept the felony. And they've essentially kicked this can down the road. Good thing he had steel toes to do it with. But so basically this gives them another 2 months almost to come to some sort of agreement. Some of the speculation I've heard, this is the opinion of some people, that part of the deal that they're making requires Aaron to do some sort of counseling or rehabilitative therapy of some sort. I don't even know what you would call it. Whatever the equivalent of the NA stuff that he was doing. Again, it was always speculation the reason he was doing NA or Al-Anon even was because we think he turned the Ricadas in April in. And we think the vector of attack with which he used to do that was telling educators or pastors or somebody that the children were in danger to escalate this and make it more of a priority for law enforcement. And if Aaron was involved in that, then perhaps part of his deal was he would have to go attend some of these classes. He would have to start taking counseling. Remember, he did all this very early on when April left. It's almost like the minute she left, he turned on her and went after her. It's what it seems like. But regardless of that, now imagine that the reason they've kicked this can down the road to this December 11th hearing, for those people who don't know, he pled not guilty to the misdemeanor. He pled not guilty to the felony today. And now they've got to come back for some other hearing on December 11th. But essentially they have all this time to still solidify some sort of deal so that this doesn't go to trial. If they go, from what I understand, if they show up December 11th and don't have a deal in place, this does go to trial. And the reason they don't have a deal in place today, they should have had a deal in place today in any normal case. But the reason they didn't have a deal in place today is because the state is not going to bend. The state has this guy. He committed this crime on allegedly on his show. And they've just got him. And they're not going to bend on it. And every lawyer I talked to and everything I read today, my bet is he pleads to the misdemeanor. Says on civil law. Everybody I've talked to today said they're not going to let go of either jail time or the felony. He will have to do one or the other. If it's 30 days for a slap on the wrist, he'll have to do it. But from what I've heard, the state is not going to relent on either jail time or the felony. So if he pleads it down, and that would make sense almost. That would make sense. Think about this. He was so happy. He said he got good news on Monday. If I believe that's when the show was. If the good news was this offer, and let's say the offer was 30 days in jail, 60 days in jail, or the felony charge, and probation or something like that. It's a no-brainer he's going to accept the jail time, right? Like, you don't want a felony on your shit. The way he's been acting, doesn't it make sense? The way he's been acting, it's been very Hail Mary-ish, no? This like, if I'm going down, if Steel Toe's going down, I'll take everybody with me.
How are they going to prove this case up?
How are they going to what?
How are they going to prove the case up?
What do you mean?
How they without testimony from Gino, how are they going to prove him guilty? We don't even know what the picture looks like.
I don't know. You don't think they have it?
I talked to a DA friend of mine. I'm an attorney here in LA. I talked to a DA. I said, hey, if you subpoena the phone records, the texts from the phone company, do you automatically get the picture? He says no. He says sometimes not. Sometimes it's half the message. You never know. And he probably has a shitty, cheap service. He probably doesn't even have a good, probably has a Metro, whatever.
Well, that's watertight speculation, sir.
How are they going to prove it?
I don't know. I don't work for them. You're the lawyer. You tell me. How would they prove it?
I'm telling you, unless Gino comes and testifies, I don't see how they can prove it. He has a right.
Here's the thing. Let's say, obviously, Kayla has the picture, right?
How are we going to know what picture was sent?
Hold on. Obviously, Kayla has the picture, right?
Obviously, Kayla has the picture.
When they called Gino,
how do we know that?
Because she's the one who sent it to Aaron.
No, Aaron took a picture of her. Well, I don't know. Maybe she did send it to Aaron.
No, it got sent to him in the Signal app. Yeah, you're right. You're not sure. You're fired.
We don't even know what the picture looks like. How are you going to convict
Why don't you let me talk? I've tried to tell you 4 times, but you seem to know it all, even though you're not sure of shit. Okay. Gino and Keanu said that when the detective called them, part of the lengthy interview that they went over with them about this entire incident was making them both describe the photo, what was in the photo, and Kayla has the photo. So if she provides the photo to the police and it matches said description, would that not be admissible in court?
No, it doesn't work like that. First of all, nothing that Gino said to the police is admissible. It's all hearsay. It's an out-of-court statement being offered for the truth.
It's not hearsay if he was in the video receiving it.
Let me finish, please. If Gino were to get on the witness stand and say something different than what he told the police, then the police can get up on the stand and say, hey, he told us something completely different. But if you're on that jury, Patrick, if you're on that jury, you're going to vote guilty and you haven't even seen the picture?
You think it's hearsay
You haven't
for
even heard
Gino?
testimony from Gino?
You think it's hearsay for Gino to tell what picture he received in a video?
Absolutely. There's no hearsay rule exception. He's not. It's not an admission by a party opponent. Gino's not a defendant. See, normally when a defendant says something or makes any statement against their interest, it comes right in. It's a hearsay rule exception. So we have different rules that will allow hearsay in. Gino doesn't fit any of those exceptions.
Okay, I don't know. You're the lawyer.
I mean, I've done 100.
Yeah,
I've done
you're
100
the
trials
lawyer.
for verdict.
I tip my hat.
I'm just saying it's not a slam dunk case. That's my point.
I never said it was.
But just to make sure that I'm clear on this, if they can subpoena the phone records and it does clearly show the picture, then yeah, he is screwed 100%.
Okay, well then I don't know why we're even guessing. Why don't we just wait and see?